Junkie on the track.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes, the sexy, the not so sexy, big children and little. I'm the novelist, author, poet, Lamont Anthony Wright, aka Graffiti, Bleu, and welcome to I want to call it a video blog series, but in actuality, it is a video book series. Okay? And we're going to break it down like a book. I told you in episode 1 what the intentions of this video blog / video book are. If you want to know what my intentions are, please reference episode 1 because we don't have a whole lot of time. Okay? To break this down like a book, like an audio book would do, and give you the table of contents, this video book will also give you the table of contents. So this, for starters, is not even an episode. It's more like the table of contents. Okay? I will add a story in there so I'm not robbing y'all, and to let you guys know what the format is going to be, I'm going to pretty much let you know what the format of this show is going to be, okay? They're no longer going to be called episodes. For one, they're going to be called adventures. This is the adventures of a naive poet. So that I can stay true to the name, every video chapter is going to be titled an adventure. Adventure 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. And so on, right? So, within the confines of that adventure, I will let you know throughout the story because I'm a storyteller and I always like to give a moral to the story. Why tell a story if you're not necessarily going to say what you learned as a consequence of that story? So what's the whole point of telling the story? Outside of being entertaining, yes, I will try to entertain you as well. But ultimately, outside of trying to get us together in the same room and have these intellectual discussions, what I would like to do is also testify my truth, and hopefully through that testimony, some of my wisdom is passed down to you. Even if I give an example of exactly what not to do. Because ultimately you are your own person, as am I. So, with every adventure, I will tell you what my naive notion, let's say it again, naive notion, I will give you in that adventure what my naive notion was walking into that adventure. So what did I believe before I started this journey or adventure, and what did I learn after experiencing that adventure, right? So, because this adventure is just zero, because this adventure is just a table of contents, and this adventure is going to be titled, let's just say inspiration. Adventure 0, table of contents, quotation marks or parentheses, inspiration, right? Now, what is my naive notion walking into this before I started learning the true nature of inspiration? The naive notion that I had before about inspiration, before I embarked on the road to creativity on a professional level, okay? The naive notion that I had was that, I had a lot of naive notions. Let me get back to that. But first, if you guys don't mind me reading off of my phone, I'm going to give you the table of contents. So this is what I or we are going to discuss in the coming weeks. Every adventure will discuss the following. Adventure 1, speaking out. Naive notion of speaking out. And when I say speaking out, it means speaking out on the open mic circuit, speaking out on stages, be it small, be it large, whether in front of a camera or not. Speaking out. Maybe you're speaking out at a radio station. Okay. My naive notion about speaking out was that abstract thoughts will translate across to the masses. I will say it again. The naive notion I had about speaking out was that those abstract thoughts, especially the ones artists have, will translate through the masses. Oh, I got plenty to say about that. Adventure number 2 is titled Poetry Politics. My naive notion that I had about poetry politics before walking into it was that there are no politics in poetry. I had no idea that poetry communities had its own set of politics. Boy, was I naive. Adventure number 3, hood fame. Yes, I said it. H-O-O-D, fame. Hood fame. My naive notion about hood fame was that it's not that serious. Being famous is one thing. Being hood famous is another thing. But being hood famous has its own set of karma. Adventure number 4, novice and professional. Novice and professional. You following me so far on adventure number 4? My naive notion about notion number 4 was that my naive notion was the actual percentage of professionals. I had an idea as to how many people really were serious about poetry and really wanted to engage poetry on a professional level. And what I found out once I got in the game was something completely different. And adventure number 5 is, I would love to talk about just the poetry audience, just the people who go to slams and open mic night and speak outs or whatever. The naive notion that I had walking in to this game was that lyrics matter more than performance. Ooh, I've got a lot to say about that one. I will hit you with it one more time. My naive notion when walking into this game, as it pertains to the poetry audience, poetry at large, people who love poetry, was that the actual lyrics you wrote mattered more than how you performed them. Boy, was I naive. But tonight's adventure number 0, because this is really the table of context. You know what I mean? I'm really just telling you what there is to come. I'm giving a story because I feel bad just telling you what's to come and not giving you a freaking story. That's a ripoff. So let's talk about inspiration. The coolest thing, one of the coolest quotes I ever heard about inspiration was actually from a band called Widespread Panic. Widespread Panic. You heard me correctly. Yes, once upon a time, I was on some real hippie-ish. That's what I did. I was playing with this cover band. I was playing the congas for this cover band. We called ourselves Jagged Company. I learned a whole lot, had a ball. Nothing bad to say about those guys. But the band we would often cover, Widespread Panic, had a song, and I forget the name of the song, but the song started out, the lead singer said, inspiration. Man, it barely lasts a moment. Elevator door is open. And this really meant a lot to me. And excuse me if I'm becoming a little too abstract, but it's as real as it gets. The lead singer was absolutely spot on when he spoke about inspiration. Inspiration, for all my true creators out there, barely lasts a moment. You get the idea in your head. For those who've experienced this, you can snap your fingers at home if you want to. You get this great idea for the greatest whatever ever. It might be a song lyric, it might be a chorus, it might be a character idea, it might be a rap lyric, it might be a dope angle, it might be a character arc of the story. It might just be a concept for a movie. Whatever. You're a creative and it just hits you. It literally is the energy from God. Okay? Nothing was there. God came in and all of a sudden there was just life. There was just life. Even if the life is only in your own head. Okay? There was nothing there, and now there is something there. I made something out of nothing. Truly, that is the power of the G-O-D. Snap, and the universe is there. Even if it's a universe that's in your thoughts. Let's continue. Okay. Many that are close to us may not necessarily be creative. So they don't even understand the creative process. They may think it's something you can turn on and turn off at the drop of a dime. I know now why women or men who want to write a book, when they want to get their book done, they take a drive to the freaking mountains. They shut their cell phone off. They might take a typewriter. They don't even want to be around a computer because they need to be inside their head without distractions. Sometimes the ones we love are like, cool, you could write while you're writing, creating, rapping, making music, playing the violin, whatever creative thing you do, I'm going to be in the other room reading a book. Seems very respectful. But that is not sometimes how it works. Some of us could create under those circumstances. Others of us need to be completely alone. I can't even have you here. It's not that I don't even love you like that. have to be inside my head. And whatever that means, I might be in the room of a story. I might be in a character's head. I might be just mumbling to myself all day while the beat is playing just to get this beat, just to get these bars off. I know I'm weird, but that's just what it is. No disrespect to anybody who is in love with a creative, is married to creative, and all of that stuff. You are strong people, because creatives, we are some weird mofos. But it just is what it is. And my naive notion walking into this is that surely you understand that this isn't personal when I tell you I need to be alone, or I tell you I have to do this thing, because I'm in the space, I'm in the room, I'm right there. This idea is knocking on my brain. Gotta get it out. I gotta get it out. I gotta write this down. I gotta write this down. And whoever is with you, wife, husband, whatever, may just be just like, write it down later. It's time to do what we do, baby. And it's not that you're not grateful. It's not that you're not grateful. But after you do what you do, baby, the idea is gone, and it drives you fucking nuts. It drives you crazy. It's like, what the hell was that? What the hell was I saying before? What was that? I don't know. Some could argue, okay. Some would argue, well, Graffiti, if you're truly great, if the idea came to you once, the idea might come to you again. Let's go back to the song lyric. Inspiration. It barely lasts a moment. Elevator door is open. Any of you guys ever miss an elevator? You know another one's coming, but how frustrated are you at the moment that you missed the elevator? Exactly my point. But this is the adventures of a naive poet, not the philosophy of a naive poet. So I'll tell you a story. Once upon a time, I was a married man. Once upon a time, I was a happily married man. Okay? And I was married, interestingly enough, my writing ass, I was married to an avid reader. An avid reader. My ex-wife drank books like most of us drink soda pop. Okay, maybe that's a bad metaphor, because I don't really drink soda like that. It's kind of bad for you. My ex-wife drank books like Serena Williams drinks Gatorade. Is that better? Okay. So of course, I give her my first book after she pretty much told me everything she wanted in a romance novel. I really kind of wrote the first book with her in mind, with her suggestions in mind, okay? Make it hot and steamy, check. Make it hot and steamy from cover to cover, check. Make the characters interesting, check. Make the bad guy the baddest mother on the planet, check. Write it well, check. I in my head, I checked all the boxes. Here you go, honey. Here's my first novel, enjoy. She reads it. Or she reads some of it. I see the book just kind of sitting there, and maybe she drank 2 chapters of that Gatorade. Was that good? Was that a good metaphor? Anyway, maybe she drank like 2 chapters. Okay. Honey, I say, the naive poet says, honey, why didn't you read did you ever finish the book? Why didn't you finish reading the book? The little page placeholder is only on like chapter 2 or 3. Like, what's really good? You don't like it? It sucks? You know, I would have welcomed if it would have just sucked. At least there's something to improve on, right? That's not what she said. That's not what she said. Okay. She was like, well, I stopped reading the book. I'm like, okay. And she had this disgusted look on her face. I'm like, why'd you stop reading the book? You know, I'm on needles and pins over here. Is it bad? Does it suck? Are there misspellings in the book that I missed? What's going on, you know? She's like, well, I don't believe that the type of love your characters are feeling for each other is a love that actually exists. Let me bring that back. I don't believe that the love your characters are feeling for each other actually exists, she says. What? Okay. That's why this adventure is called number 0. It's number 0. And my naive notion was that everybody got you. Okay. Now, if you had not experienced this type of love before, I would totally respect that. And if we're talking about maybe the relatability of a book, and you want to make your book more relatable to audiences by giving them a type of love maybe they can digest, then that's fine. But it was a very telling thing for my marriage, because 2 people in the book that were just simply crazy in love for each other, she could not understand how 2 people could be crazy in love for each other. Really? But we are married. How naive of me. Hold on, bring that back, DJ. Sick silly of me to think that I mean, really? Really? Okay. So, let's say, even if this is truly the case, and my then ex-wife was not going through some sort of psychological trauma, we're not together anymore, so I believe you me, there was some trauma there that was slowly being revealed to me as I was peeling back the layers. Okay. But just thinking logically for a second, if your husband wrote about this kind of love, and that is not the kind of love we were in, I also respect that. But logic would dictate, if your husband is writing about 2 people crazy in love, and you are not crazy in love with him, but he is crazy in love with you, that's a point of conscience or contention for you. You're not gonna just follow through with the book. Or better yet, did you not know this before you walked down the aisle? My G? It's not really that serious. I'm not depressed, angry, although I did turn up this episode. But that's what it is. In closing, I'm not going to keep you too long. In closing, man, I just want to give honor to God, man. Because a creative, an inspired creative, okay, is probably going to be one of the most misunderstood people on this planet. And I would not trade being understood for never being inspired. If I had to give God back all of my creative energy, if I had to give my power or my ability or my talent or skill to create something from nothing, just so that I could fit in, mother, you're fit in. I will be the weird mofo all day. Leave my weird ass alone. If that's really what it means, if I'm going to be an outsider because I have the gift to create, then freaking so be it. I have seen people try to compete with creativity. That's a whole that's a whole another episode. Maybe I'll save that for adventure 6 and 7, because I could go on about inspiration a lot. There are a lot of selfish people out there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that they really feel that if you love them and you're passionate about whatever it is you're passionate about, creative wise, some people feel in competition with that. Oh, you can make those videos for yourself. You can't make those videos for me? I've had that said to me. When am I going to get a video? Okay. So ask yourself, my brothers and sisters that have the ability to create, ask yourself, when you look at your inner circle, why are those people standing next to you? Because they truly love you? Or because you have that ability? That's it for adventure number 0, table of contents. I'm not going to spin the block back. There's no need. Till next time, take care of yourselves. And no, I end let's think this through that way. So how should I end the blog? Until our next adventure. See y'all.